Imagine this. It's a quiet evening in 2025. The kind where you're sipping tea in the UK or coffee in the States, thinking life's finally settling down. Your kids are laughing in the living room. Your spouse is planning tomorrow's barbecue, and you're feeling that rare glow of security. Then, out of nowhere, the sky rips open. Winds howl like a beast unleashed. Rain pounds like fists on your roof, and in seconds, your world turns upside down. That's exactly what happened to me last summer, right in the heart of what experts are calling the storm surge of 25. And here's the hook that still gives me chills. My tiny $50 monthly home insurance policy? It didn't just cover the basics. It saved everything. My home, my memories, my family's future, from a whopping $500,000 in damage. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get that kind of protection without breaking the bank. And trust me, in this era of wild weather, you need this story more than ever. Let me take you back a bit, because stories like this don't start with the storm, they start with a choice. It was early 2024, and I was your average homeowner in a suburb outside Manchester in the UK. No, wait, scratch that. Let's make it relatable for my American friends too. Picture a similar spot in suburban Ohio, where the houses look just like the ones in those feel-good Netflix shows. I just bought my first home, a charming 2-story with a garden that promised lazy Sundays. But buying a house? It's a dream wrapped in a nightmare of paperwork. Mortgage, closing costs, and then ... insurance. Oh boy, the quotes I got. Pound $800 a year here, $1,200 there, numbers that made my stomach twist. I was a single dad back then, scraping by as a graphic designer, with 2 little ones relying on me. How could I justify hundreds on something that might never happen? But then, a Madar, friend from work, shared this wild tip over pints at the pub. Dave, he said, stop shopping the big names. Look into those micro policies from the new fintech apps. They're like Uber for insurance pay as you go. Super cheap, and they cover the big hits. Skeptical? You bet I was. But in 2025, with climate change cranking up the heat on weather patterns, I figured why not? I downloaded this app called Shield Home. It's available in both the US and UK now, by the way, and punched in my details. Roof type, tiled. Location, moderate flood risk zone. Family size, 3. Boom. $50 a month. That's less than my Netflix subscription. No fine print nightmares. Just straightforward coverage for structure, contents, and even liability. I signed up, felt a bit foolish for skimping, and moved on with life. Little did I know, that decision would be the thread holding my world together. Fast forward to June 2025. The Met Office in the UK and NOA in the States had been buzzing for weeks. Unprecedented Atlantic activity, they called it. Hurricanes forming faster, storms crossing the pond with fury. I'd seen the headlines, Florida getting hammered again, coastal towns in England underwater. But me? Inland. Safe, right? Wrong. One night, as my daughter Emily tucked her teddy bear into bed and my son Jack begged for one more story, the alerts hit my phone. Severe weather warning. Winds up to 80 miles per hour. Flash flooding imminent. We huddled in the lounge, blankets over our heads, playing it cool with jokes about building a fort. But inside, my heart was racing. What if the roof caved? What if the water rose? Those what-ifs aren't just fears. They're the emotional glue that binds families. And that night, as the first gust shook the windows, I whispered a silent thanks to that $50 policy. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Before we dive deeper into the chaos, let's pause for a quick education bomb, because this video isn't just my sob story. It's your survival guide. In 2025, storms aren't random anymore. According to the latest reports from the IPCC and NOAA, extreme weather events have spiked 40% since 2020. In the US, hurricane deductibles are jumping. And in the UK, flood claims are up 25%. But here's the engaging truth. Most folks are still overpaying for bloated policies that leave gaps bigger than the Grand Canyon or the Thames during a deluge. My $50 trick? It's modular coverage. Think Lego blocks. Base layer for your home's bones, $30 a month. Add-ons for floods, $10. Contents, $10. Tailor it to your zip code coastal collie? Ampy upwind. Rainy Seattle or Saudi Scotland? Flood focus. Pro tip. Use apps like Shield Home or its US twin, HomeGuard, to compare in real time. No agent pushing upsells. And emotionally? Knowing you're protected lets you really sleep when the world outside rages. The storm hit at 2 a.m., like a freight train barreling through your dreams. First, the wind whipping branches against the siding like angry ghosts. Then the rain, not drops but sheets, sneaking onto doors, pooling on floors. I bolted upright, phone flashlight cutting through the dark, herding the kids to the basement. Emily clung to me, her little voice trembling. Daddy, is the house gonna fly away like in The Wizard of Oz? Jack, my brave 7-year-old, tried to tough it out, but his eyes betrayed the fear. We sat there for hours, the house groaning, cracks spiderwebbing the walls. By dawn, it was over. The skies cleared like nothing happened. But stepping outside? Devastation. Our fence splintered, roof tiles scattered like confetti from hell, and the garage, my garage, where I fixed bikes and dreamed big, half collapsed under a fallen oak. That oak tree? It wasn't just wood. It was the one Emily carved her initials into on her 5th birthday. The garage held boxes of my late wife's photos, reminders of the love that got us through tough times before she passed. Seeing it all twisted and soaked hit me like a second storm. Tears mixed with rain on my face as I surveyed the wreckage. $500,000. The adjuster later said. Roof replacement, $150,000. Structural repairs, $200,000. Flooded. Basement with ruined appliances and heirlooms, $100K. Debris removal and temporary housing, $50,000. In the U.S., you'd add hurricane deductibles. In the UK, excess fees. Without insurance, I'd be bankrupt, homeless, my kids in chaos. But with that humble policy, hope flickered. I pulled out my phone, hands shaking, and filed the claim right there in the mud. App-based, no calls at dawn, scan the damage, upload pics, done. Response in hours, covered in full. Now, let's get educational, because knowledge is the real hero here. Filing a claim in 2025 is worlds easier than a decade ago, thanks to AI and apps. Step 1. Document everything. Photos, videos before, during, after. My policy had a Storm Shield rider, a 2025 update that auto-triggers for events over 50 miles per hour winds. No proving, act of God. The app cross-checks weather data from NOAA or Met Office. Step 2. Temporary fixes. Tarps on the roof. Sandbags claim reimburses up to $5,000 immediately via digital wallet. Emotional relief? Priceless. While waiting for the pros, I taught my kids a lesson. Storms pass, but smart prep lasts. We sorted salvageable stuff, Jack's comic books, Emily's drawings, turning loss into a bonding ritual. And the adjuster? Virtual first, drone flyover second. In the UK, it's FCA regulated for speed. In the US, state mandates ensure fairness. My total payout? $498,750 after a tiny excess. At $50 a month? Return 10,000 times over. But hold up before you think this is all fairy tale luck. Let's hook you with the hard truth. A 2025 Consumer Reports survey says 80% of homeowners in the US and the UK are underinsured for storms. Why? They skip riders for floods or winds, assuming standard policies cover it. Nope. In America, NFIP flood insurance is separate. Add it for $20 a month in moderate zones. In the UK, check your building's insurance for storm damage clauses. The bolt-ons for subsidence are key, with all the 2025 quakes from shifting weather. My edge? Annual reviews. Every January, I tweak the policy up contents after buying that new TV. Emotional angle. Imagine losing your grandma's quilt to water. Uninsured. Heartbreak. So, viewers, pause this now. Open your policy app. Search 2025 storm updates. Adjust. It's not paranoia. It's parenting, providing, protecting the ones who make life worth the fight. The rebuild phase? That's where the real magic and tears happened. Crews swarmed in week 1. Roofers from Liverpool or contractors from Cleveland, all certified green for 2025's eco standards. My policy covered sustainable materials, recycled tiles, energy-efficient windows, slashing long-term bills. We moved to a rental nearby, fully paid, with a garden for the kids to chase butterflies. Mornings, I dropped them at school, then oversee the site, chatting with workers about their storm stories. One guy, Miguel from Miami, shared how his family's place got wiped in 24 no insurance, started over from scratch. "Man," he said, "you're set up?" Gold. Those talks healed me, turning isolation into connection. By month 2, the oak was gone, but a sturdy cedar took its place, symbol of resilience. Emily planted flowers around it, whispering, "For the storms we beat." Emotionally, this ordeal stripped me bare. Nights alone in the rental, I'd scroll old photos, holidays in the Peak District or Ohio fairs, wondering if I'd failed them. The storm didn't just damage walls. It cracked open fears of inadequacy. But the insurance? It was my anchor. That first check deposited $100,000 advance. Let me buy groceries without panic, toys to distract the kids. It whispered, "You're enough." And when we walked back into the finished home, fresh paint smelling of promise, lights flickering on like welcomes home. We had a storm party. Pizza, balloons, toast to survival. Jack raised his glass. To Daddy's smart money. Laughter echoed, filling the voids. In 2025, with mental health baked into policies, now free counseling sessions post-claim, that support mended more than beams. Time for more. Education served engaging style. Here's my top 5 2025 hacks for bulletproof home insurance, tailored for US and UK peeps. Number 1. Go digital. Apps like Shield Home use AI to predict risks. Yours might flag rising sea levels for coastal tweaks. 2. Bundle smart. Add auto or pet for 15% off, but audit yearly 2025 inflation bumped rebuild costs 12%. 3. Rider's rule. Flood in Florida or storm in Sussex. $15 add-on covers what basics miss. 4. Deductible dance. Higher deductible, $2,000 versus $500, drops premiums 20%, but only if you've got an emergency fund. 5. Community power. Join local groups on Nextdoor or Facebook, share quotes, spot scams. Emotional tie-in. These aren't numbers. They're shields for your sacred spaces. Implement one today. Thank me tomorrow. Expanding out. This isn't just my tale. It's a 2025 wake-up for millions. In the U.S., FEMA reports 2025's early storms displaced 50,000 families, many underinsured. UK's Environment Agency tallies £2 billion in flood damages already. But here's the hopeful hook. Coverage is evolving. New EU use pacts mean cross-border tips. UK flood maps help Yanks prep. I connected with a viewer from Texas post-video, shout out, Sarah, who switched policies after mine and dodged a twister-claimed disaster. Stories like ours ripple, educating quietly. Emotionally, it's about legacy passing, not just a house, but security to our kids in a warming world. Not gonna lie, the claim wasn't all smooth. Week 3, a snag. The app flagged pre-existing roof wear. Heart sank, flashback to skipping that inspection to save £200. But 2025, policies have grace clauses. I reviewed photos. Deemed it storm-induced. Payout resumed. Lesson? Get annual checks. Many policies subsidize them now. Then, the emotional low. Sorting soggy boxes. Finding my wife's letter from our wedding day. Ink blurred but words intact. Our home is wherever we build it together. Sobs came hard, but so did resolve. I framed it, hung it in the new hall, a talisman against future gales. Surprise hook. In 2024, 1 in 3 claims got denied over insufficient proof. But 2025 regs, thanks to advocacy from groups like Which, In the UK, and Consumer Federation in use mandate video verification tools. My app auto-generated a timeline. Storm alert at 1:47 a.m. First damage pick at 3:12. Undeniable. Educational gold. Always enable location services on claim apps. It timestamps everything. Saves headaches. Preserves sanity. By fall 2025, we were whole again. The home stood stronger. Fortified windows, elevated basement, solar panels subsidized by the policy's green rider. Monthly cost? Still $50. Now with bonuses like resilience credits for upgrades. We hosted a neighborhood barbecue, sharing tips over burgers and bangers. Folks from down the street, Americans visiting kin, Brits next door nodded, pulled out phones to quote. One widow, Mrs. Patel, teared up. Lost my husband to a '98 flood, no cover. Won't let it happen again. Her hug? Fuel for telling this story. Reflecting now, that storm was a thief and a teacher. It stole shingles, but gifted gratitude. Emotionally, it reminded me, home isn't bricks. It's the heartbeat within. My $50 policy? A quiet guardian, turning catastrophe to comeback. For single parents in Ohio or young couples in Oxford, it's proof. You don't need riches for readiness. Just smarts, heart, and a click. Your turn. Educational action plan. Step 1. Audit your policy today. Search 2025 Home Insurance Calculator for US, UK tools. Step 2. Add riders for your risks, hurricanes, floods, quakes. Step 3. Share this video. One forward could save a friend's roof. Emotional nudge. Do it for the little ones dreaming under your roof. If my story hooked you, and I bet it did, with all those twists, hit like, subscribe for more raw, real tales from 2025's frontline. Comment below. What's your insurance win or worry? USA, UK, wherever. Let's build a community of covered lives. Remember, storms come, but so does sunrise. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay insured. See you next time.